Hey guys, it's Fishing the PNW here, and I just wanted to share with you guys a new method or rig that I came up with late last fall. And basically I came up with this idea because when you fish Texas rigs or when you fish jigs and they're weighted, that bait is generally, even with like quarter-ounce jigs or whatever, that bait is generally going to sink pretty fast, and it's going to sink vertically for the most part. And I wanted to come up with a presentation that would allow it to sink really slow, but more importantly, sink horizontally. So the rig that I came up with, I'm actually using a Gamakatsu weighted Superline EWG. That's in 3/0 and it's a 1/16 ounce. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the owner CPS, which stands for centering pin spring, and I'm threading it onto that first bend of this weighted EWG. And the reason I do that is because of the thickness of this weight, you can't really just slide plastics up it unless the plastic is really thick and it can go over that without completely breaking. You can't really use this method. That's where the CPS spring comes into place. And two methods that I tried that I liked were using the Gary Yamamoto twin tail hula grub. This is in green pumpkin, and the other thing that I've done with it is rig finesse worms on there. These are 4.5-inch robo worms. So I've already gone through and rigged them up, and right here you'll see the twin tail hula grub. So what I do is I just thread it up onto that spring, make sure that it's lined up, and I don't really like Texas rigging unless I'm actually going to be fishing deep into cover. So what I'll actually do is I'll text pose, and what you do is you line up the trailer or the plastic with where it's going to be resting on the hook. You poke it all the way through, and then once you bring it through, you just kind of lightly skin hook it right there. So with this rig, it's only the weighted hook is only 1/16 ounce. So when you cast it out there, if you let it sink, it's just going to fall horizontally. It's not going to dive nose first, because the weight on this hook is pretty much right in the belly. It might fall with a slight angle nose down, but from what I noticed, since you have your line at the end of it and a little bit of tension, it's pretty much going to fall just horizontally. And while it's falling slowly, the skirt or these tentacles, whatever you want to call them, these are just going to kind of be lightly pulsating, and at the same time, the twin tails on the grub are just going to be kind of lightly moving around. So it's going to fall really slow, and it's going to fall horizontally, and then you kind of twitch it, reel it up a little bit, and then it's just going to fall and die slow again. So when fishing craw presentations, your jigs are never going to really fall that slow, and basically with this, and they're not going to fall horizontally. So with this presentation, you can let it fall really slow. You can keep it in the strike zone longer. It's going to be moving really subtly and have a nice kind of just sort of gentle wiggling action, and the bass are going to jump all over that. They're going to see that. It's going to be in their face. They're going to get a look at it, and it's going to be kind of looks like a helpless prey that they can just come up and gobble up really quick. So again, try that. And the other method that I like to do is put a finesse worm on there. This is a 4.5-inch robo worm in the bold bluegill color. And because of the thinness of this worm, if you try to text pose it or Texas rig it, it's not gonna really, the body of the worm won't exactly be straight. I wouldn't fish this in heavy cover, but you can toss it around weed edges and whatnot close to shore. And the same thing with this, is it's just gonna kind of fall horizontally, but because of how soft the plastic of the robo worm is, that tail is just gonna be moving back and forth. So again, with this type of presentation, you'll give the bass something new to look at. I mean, they're used to seeing worms like this on drop shots, shaky heads or whatnot, but you toss this up into there and it's just going to kind of fall horizontally really slowly, and that tail is going to wiggle around. So again, there's the robo worm rigged up, and there is the hula grub. So give this a try. Let me know what you guys think. I only tried this the last day that I fished in fall last year, which was like the last day of October, I think. And I caught one bass on it, but I only caught 3 bass total that day. So I'll definitely be trying this out this year in the spring and throughout. But again, it just gives the bass a new presentation to look at, and I hope it works for you guys.